Hey, what's up? This is Lucas coming to you live from where are we at? What city are we at?
Here in the WJ here in Utah, the West Jordan.
West Jordan. Oh my God, I heard they have gangs out here. You better look out, bud.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're here with Mike today. Great musician. I think, in my opinion, he's somewhat of a philosopher. The more I hang out with Mike, the more I've learned different aspects of energy and perspective through talking with him. Very interesting guy, very creative musician, in two bands currently right now that are going to be kicking ass all over the Salt Lake area. So be looking out for Theramadus and Lost of Existence playing.
Yep, Dan, got a plug, shameless plug here. Theramadus will be playing Good Spirits this Saturday, the 7th, with Air Days, another local band, great bunch of guys. Come to Good Spirits, check us out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we've been kind of hanging out a little bit today. It's been cool. We went to Guitar Center, kind of one of the places I like to have, a little field trip to quite often. So it was cool. Now this guy over here, he's one of the best in the state, one of the best drummers in the state, in my humble opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And when I first met you, I think a year ago, playing, I've seen your techniques and stuff. You've stepped it up quite a bit.
Oh, since we first played.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a year ago, but so what I'm saying in that year's time is you've kind of really added to your repertoire of skills and skill set on the drums. So
I know it's been crazy. I thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you for that. I think it's just because I've gotten to play with so many different musicians throughout the valley that they all bring their little signature or whatever, and that kind of helps me to create new different styles based off other people's styles. Because I'm mainly a pop-up drummer, impromptu drummer, I can usually mesh. There's only been one musician that I had the hardest time meshing with, and it was simply for the fact that he wasn't good. He just wasn't good. He wasn't even basically good. So but I remember first time jamming with you as well, and I was like, holy shit, I just walked into my church of people. These are my people right here.
nice.
We don't always see each other all the time because we have busy lives and whatnot, but we always seem to circle back around and reconnect, and kind of, we got that camaraderie belt.
Well, and I watch your channel, too.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the stuff that you're vibing on, and it resonates with me. So that's why I asked you to come visit me and let me get back on, and
Oh yeah, I love that.
talk about some deep subjects that are
Oh yeah. So
that don't get talked about enough.
Yeah. So what do you got on your mind to talk about today?
Well, since you brought it up, we kind of talked earlier a little bit. Some of us are here to create things, and what we use our individuality to do is a great power that's actually really in process in real time and just getting stomped on right now.
Right.
Is the individual power, and what music does for me, and I'm sure you'd agree too, is it enhances by creating our freaking help me out here, brother.
I think
you
can create your own perspective through the music process I use. I can always take something negative or something that was just something that didn't resonate with me, that got attached to me somehow, whether it be talking with other people. I can usually go in to the music, go to my drum kit, and play that out through the drums and release it that way. And I don't like to do that when I'm playing in front of people. It's more like when I'm playing, just warming up for myself. I can take that negative energy and turn it into a positive, more creative energy. And it gets talked about a lot, but I don't think enough people know how to maneuver, because for me, I think it's because my daily maintenance, what I do on a consistency, that helps me be the person I am today, the musician I am today. And I like to look at music as an integrity type of thing, because I'm trying to uplift people, and I'm not trying to brainwash anybody. I'm not, because music is so much more powerful than we tend to acknowledge at times, because
it's a place where we can align, where more things, especially right now, are dividing people, and they're all fucking mad at each other all the time about stupid shit.
Right.
This is a place where we can put all that down and be creative. It's a huge release of tensions, anxiety, you name it. That's what helps me, and psychologically, it helps me out psychologically. It helps me be more grounded in I guess what I call reality, or in
Yeah, our reality. Yeah, somebody's reality.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-programming I think I've received throughout the years of being here on this planet, I've been able to reverse some of that through the music. I don't know exactly how it works. I just know it works. So I continue just to move forward and learning, and just being in tune. Is the awareness is like half the battle. What's really going on versus what is being told to you. Being able to decipher for yourself what's real, what you choose to be your reality, and what you don't, and you can actually separate that. But it takes a lot of practice, and it's just a lot of it's just based on perspective a lot of times. But I know when I have a hard week at work, and I know I can count on my music community somewhere out there somebody will call me and say, hey, we're going to see so and so, and I might not know these bands, but I still go out and see them. And I think that's my main thing, has always been just to suit up and show up for the right reasons, for the right intention, and you never know what you can create from that. I mean, starting this new project in the 80s, 90s cover band that we're going to be doing, I mean, you got to be careful what you wish for, though. That's definite. If you got some power and you got some intuitive shit, and you can manifest stuff really quick, be careful. Because things will come at you. I've experienced that. I'm like, we're okay. And that's when you learn how to draw boundaries with people, and then you become more respected in that community, because you're gonna be there for people, but within your own boundaries. Some people like to take advantage and want to create stuff with you, but they really want to drain you at the same time. So you just got to be aware, I think. And where I'm like in demand in this area, I really have to be like centered.
Yeah, absolutely.
So recently with your new project, what aspects of evolving have come up for you, if that question makes any sense to you?
With Theramadus?
Yeah.
Well, it's a creative outlet where there's no boss in the band, there's no band leader. Nice. I mean, I kind of take on that role quite a bit, but it's not like I'm just trying to create some community there as well.
Nice.
Where we set some goals, just write some songs, play cover songs, whatever we want. If somebody wants to play something, it's up for consideration. And
nice.
And there's not one person going, well, I don't want to do that. It's just like we throw it out there and throw it to the wind and see what happens. So I've actually enjoyed that too. Is we play some more cover songs. We do that to where we want people to come out and hear us, and then they'll hopefully give our original material a listen, and which it's been fun. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. Then I'm in Loss of Existence too, and we're still chugging along, and got a show in April. Working on some new tunes there. Not sure what direction we're going, if we're gonna record some stuff or not. Theramadus, we're gonna be doing some recordings pretty soon. We got
Nice.
somebody that wants to come help us do that, and yeah, I keep thinking too. I've got some other original material on my own that I might just start up a third project. I don't know. We'll see.
Hell yeah, that'd
We
be
see.
awesome. Yeah,
So,
I know you got the skill to do that for sure. I mean, we ain't got nothing else but to make music and create. I mean,
yeah. And so by doing that, the important part, and I heard you say it earlier too, was creating a community. So, people that come out and hang out and listen to some good live music and
I've been in
just
plenty.
have a, good
plenty
sense
of-
of a community where we support each other,
I think the biggest thing about the community I've been wanting to tap into is like, there's a lot of people out there that got the potential to create in the fashion that we do, but they don't have the motivation to do it. And when you can create a community where everybody's a musician, and you get this person that wants to be a musician, but they don't know how to go about it, and then they get around the community and see how everything works, then you never know. The natural born star can be born right there too. And if you
True.
can help somebody do that, like, man, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
I vote for me. Can it be me?
Yeah, exactly.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I ain't got dreams. I got
too.
dreams.
I got dreams. It's so great. So far, my dreams have been pretty on point. Like, intentions, just being connected with self a lot more, being able to, like, my biggest thing lately has been being able to walk away from things that I know just don't resonate. Back in the day, I used to hang around people or be around situations where I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but and now I just got so much more freedom and so much more, seems like freedom of choice lately to just show up and be at the right place at the right time to either learn or teach what needs to be learned or taught at the time.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep them coming. Keep the blessings coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we all need to level up at the same time too, and if there are toxic people around you, you need to just kind of cut them off too.
I think I've been focused in a lot on empowering the angels that do look over me, giving them props for doing so, because they're my guide to where I need to go and where not to go. And it's, I've been in some situations where it's like, how am I going to get out of this? And lo and behold, a window of opportunity is there, and I can just be like, I'm out of here. I'm a ghost. At certain points in my life where I needed that to happen, it was just like divine timing has been in my life my whole time I've been here, just not realizing it because my ego started getting in the way of what I think.
So that's the divine,
Yeah.
However,
totally.
that's God. That's however you,
Right.
decide that means to you,
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to keep tuned in as much as possible, It's funny how you'll face a predicament, and if you're watching, sometimes the answer just gets provided for you,
Oh, hell yeah.
in the best possible way too.
Mhm.
Like, wow, So, that's really the power of spirituality that is being like rooted out of us. It seems that I think there's going to be more people going to want to get back to being human. Especially with you know, the machine takeover they're trying to do with all these fucking data centers and shit. I mean, did you vote for a data center? Do you really need a fucking data center? I don't think most people really give a fucking damn about, you know. So I think there's going to be an honest revival of back to people that just want to experience things. And, you know, I say often, you know, I'm not here for the goods, you know. I'm here for the experience.
Hell yeah.
You know, I'm here for
Nice.
what I can learn,
Yes.
what I can glean, and, you know, try to become the best version of myself that I can, and level up, you know. So yeah, it's important that, you know, we, in creating community there, that we have some community standards too.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
definitely do.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Things can get out of hand sometimes when we start to manifest and we don't have a boundary set up. Boundaries have been my biggest learning tool that I've been like using a lot in the last 10 years of my life, and it's slowly refined my life to be as most simple as possible. And it's a great thing because I don't feel like before, when I had more responsibility as an adult here, I just didn't have as much energy to provide because it was being distracted by stuff I really thought I needed, because I was programmed to think that I needed these things. And once I started becoming I call it a minimalist to like a different degree, you know, I was just like, holy shit, I actually feel better. Like in general, just in general. I didn't have everything I needed, but I did, in a sense, if that makes sense. Like everything was going to be provided, and I trusted that whatever I do, as long as my intentions were set up and I'm not using people or hurting people or myself, then it should be all good. And that's part of my intuition telling me, yeah, you know, this is all mapped out for you. You just got to trust the process, because it will provide progress. That's a line that I listened to out of the heaviest band, out of French-Canadian band called Despised Icon, and that's one of their lyrics. Heaviest fucking band ever. But they got a song called Shadow Work, and that's a topic I've talked about a lot through the last year or so. And I listened to the lyrics on that, I'm like, holy shit, these guys are in tune as well. You know, they just come with the fast-paced music, and you listen to their lyrics, you're like, yeah, these guys, yeah, they're the so-called woke ones as well. I like when people use that, you know, woke. Shit's crazy. I don't even know what that means. But that is true, you know, trust the process. Everything works out. Everything has a rhyme and a reason to it. I don't believe in consequences. I never have. And
consequences?
Yeah. I mean, not consequences.
Coincidences?
Coincidences,
Yeah.
yes, sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think really that's just a convenient word for, you know, to keep you distracted, really, you know.
I think it's for lazy people.
Things happen because they were supposed to happen. That's what happened. You're living it right now. We're living it right now in this very moment.
I think as soon as I accepted that, you know, that idea, I was like, oh, so I don't have to be pissed off all the time. Pretty much is what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
Because it could be very easy to get into a pity party at certain moments, but realizing that's pre-programming already, you know, like certain things trigger you to feel a certain way. Why is that? Oh, because we've been doing this, or we've been doing that. We've been doing what they want us to do, not what we need to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because that's also too empowering, right?
Yeah, there's also generational trauma as well. So, yeah, I was explaining to my 10-year-old, you know, 10, is he 11? No, he's 11. And I don't hold back. I don't believe in sheltering my kids. If they ask me about a hard subject, I'm going to give them the most truthful answer.
Right.
Most of the time.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah. For their best interest, But yeah, I don't believe in, raising kids that are stupid either, I don't want them to be dumb. So, just had to explain to him generational trauma, and I really haven't had to experience it, other than just, being born without a father for, 9 years of my life,
Right.
Stuff like that. It's as close as it ever got for me. But for some, because we were having to explain, well, why is this person this way? And it's, why did they do those things? And it's like, well, back in a certain, couple generations back, you got your ass whooped. There's plenty, people that just, their dad whipped their ass and, got drunk and beat the shit out of them, molested them, whatever, just treated them like fucking crap. And that was somewhat normal. I had to tell him, it says, a couple generations ago, kids were just, we'll whoop your ass,
Mm-hmm.
And I never did that to mine, thank God. So, I didn't really have anything to break. But that's a big deal, for a lot of people.
That is trauma, right there.
And that's, I think we could be at a healing time right now if people, face that, or, and stop and break that cycle as well. They'll be able to liberate themselves to
I
a
think
degree.
just everything's saturated with fear. Everything's fear-based nowadays with people, and that's why it's so much harder for, it's either make you or break your situation when you come and you're starting to face some shit that happened. Like I have my best friend, she's been through the ringer and back, and I do a lot of energy work with her, and what I told her the other day was I said, whatever happened when you were in the womb, I feel is what you like deal with consistently. Like her real parents, they were addicts, and she got adopted out, and I was like, I think, and they had a lot of kids too, like 8 or 9 kids, so it was obvious that there was something going on with that. Just hearing the story and kind of getting the vibe, I was like, yeah, something probably happened when you were in the womb that just really traumatized you, and now you're just having to figure out how to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, and not knowing, taking the wrong path for a while and then trying to come back to reality has been it's been weird to watch somebody go through that, but at the same time it's been really cool because I've been able to help her get through some of it just by what I've learned on the other side of the fence per se.
Yeah.
So,
well, I try to reach people, anywhere that I can, and let them know that, hey, look, this is a good point in time to release that, whatever it is, whatever trauma, is you've been through, and, purge it out of your psyche some way. Get around some people that, are positive and are willing to help you through this kind of thing. Because, we're powerful beings, and being creative and creating is one of our ways out of this shit too, because they really want our minds. They want to control our minds, and that's the last defense is going to be your creativity, and keep being an individual. I hear a lot, well, I know AI is just going to take over like art and music and all that, and it's like, well, yep, I realize that's probably true. Is it going to change what I do? No.
fuck.
It's not going to change what I do at all. I'm just going to keep doing it because I'm going to keep creating. And I don't know, maybe I'll write a good song about it. I don't know.
Hell yeah, no doubt. I mean, definitely life. If it wasn't for life, we wouldn't have nothing to write about. That's for sure. I recognize that in some of the most traumatizing times on this level of living, that's when some of the most creative
the
music
most
was.
inspiring music comes
Exactly.
out is when you're going
Yeah.
through some heavy shit, for
And
sure.
I'm watching
Yeah.
that happen a lot around here because of where we're at now. You know, we're moving into a different cycle of, we're not there yet. We're almost into the year of the horse, and that's when the purge is done. That's when you've created the new you. This is time for you to accept what is, and make your dream. You know, the past is the past. You're right here, right now. It's time to move forward.
Yeah.
And that starts in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That cycle is going to be promoting everybody to do that. And so if you feel weird around like the third week of February, it's a transformation, and you can either love it or hate it, but I would suggest go with it.
Yeah, reality's being bent and twisted and shaped right in front of us. And yep. Shit feels weird. I felt it, I'd say probably about a year ago, I've noticed a real big vibrational shift in just, you know, I wake up and feel the energy, you know, and it feels out of balance, pretty out of balance. So.
Hell yeah.
So.
That was right around the time I got put on probation. I was on lockdown and all kinds of crazy shit. And lo and behold, look, I'm a free man. See, it is my year. It's everybody's year if we take the opportunity just to accept what is and move forward.
Yeah. Yep. And
another thing I have noticed about certain people is, I mean, it's one thing to dive into trying to understand why you feel the way you feel about certain situations, but it's another thing to dwell in those situations to the point where it discourages you from even getting out of it, the mindset. And I know a few people like that, and I've watched this process, and it's just mind-blowing to me. And one thing I do understand is a lot of our trauma is ancestral. I mean, it runs through the bloodline, and you know, we all run through the same bloodline. So understanding that, in my mind, doesn't make me want to question every time I feel a certain way and make it a thing. I just know the more I continue to enhance my daily rituals, like the littlest thing that I do in the morning is maybe burn some Palo Santos, you know, right before I go into work. Just my hands around my body, around my head, and the rest of the day is just fucking, no matter what the challenges at work, I got a good attitude just by doing that simple thing. It's so weird. And when I don't do it, which is I don't not ever remember to, because I live in my car and it's right there in my ashtray, so it's always in front of me, and I was like, oh, I better burn this real quick before I go into work. Smells good, helps my mind. It kind of shields me from taking on other people's energy. And we're dealing in the trucking industry, there's a lot of negativity up in that piece. So I'm able to alchemize it once again and kind of focus. I mean, not saying I'm perfect, and I have gone off on some people because that's the only way they understood me.
yeah,
You gotta know.
You react in the situation, you know.
Well, no, this was the only way they would understand me. Like, you got to talk to certain people a certain way in order for them to get the point. Right. And some people would call that rude, or that looked rude, or that sounded rude. But it's the only way they would understand me. And I'm trying to communicate with people at my best. And unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta. Okay, I'm gonna be a dick for a minute, but I think this is the only way I'm gonna get through to you. I've had to do that when I was in recovery. I had a lot of sponsees, and I had to learn what their language was in order for us to help them through what they were dealing with, because I wanted to understand them, and I wanted them to be able to understand me. I want to articulate in a manner that they'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. It's not as hard as I'm making it out to be, because everything can be simplified. And I think that's the hugest part about the society and the programming and all this. We got choices here. We got so many fucking distractions. It's like, holy shit, how am I ever going to get back to me?
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I hate that shit. As simple as like going out to eat. You're going to choose, you got all these choices away. I don't give a fuck. Just give me a plate of something. That's how I am, you know. I'm like, give me the fettuccine. Do you want this? No, I don't want any of that shit. Fettuccine. Okay? Keep it simple. I'm going to eat that. Everything is going to be kosher. Now we can focus on having a moment rather than trying to figure out what the moment's going to look like. And that's what people we're too caught up in. What's this experience going to be like? Now I got anxiety. Now I don't have any energy to even get up and go to have this experience or this moment because I didn't psych myself out. I know a lot of people that do that, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. It just blows my mind. But there are people that struggle with that, and it's not being able, in my opinion, from my experience, it's not being able to accept what the past has been like in order to move on from it. And everybody gets stuck in it. I get stuck in it here and there, but I have tools today that work proficiently for me to like pull myself back. Being this last summer was the hardest for me because I was by myself a lot. I mean, a lot. I just wasn't talking with people. I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing my job and trying to appease my PO, which wasn't very hard. I just did what they asked me to do, and it was just a process of, okay, I'm not gonna get to playing this band because this happened, but I knew there would be more opportunities down the road because, you know, as long as there's a breath in me, I got something to do. I got some kind of goal in mind. I push for things. But that all had to do with one simple thing, is just accepting and putting one foot in front of the other. But for some people, that's very hard. And I like to think that what I create musically can help people receive whatever it is, that frequency they need in order for that switch to flip. Because that's all it is one little switch. You just need one little frequency, whole perspective can change. That's why we do what we do, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Mike. Love you.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Yeah. So yeah, come out and see Zombie and his musical adventures wherever he goes.
Oh yeah.
You know, nothing like being there. Nothing like being there live while it's going on. So
hell yeah, it's the best.
you know, that's where the magic is. So yeah, it's exactly why we do what we do. It has so many benefits, you know, and it's how we create. You know, others have their you know, creations that they do. Some people are really smart with their talents, and this is what we do with ours, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like for instance, how old are you?
I'm be 55 this year.
So you're 55. I'm 49.
Bullshit.
I haven't had to get liposuction or any fucking kind of injections. I still look somewhat young. You look still somewhat young. I mean, besides the hair always fucking out. If you use the color in the shit, you probably look a lot younger.
I gave up. I'm old grampy. I have grandchildren. I give zero fucks about that. But thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, you know.
I used to. I used to, but I just finally said fuck it.
But I know, but no.
I mean,
really,
as far as looking old, right?
Well, we're good-looking guys still, though. The music enhances our age look, I think, and I've noticed that with musicians and people who are non-musicians. It's like the aging, because I think when you're always in the midst of creating and you're trying to paint a picture with your music, it for me, when I'm behind a kid, it takes me back to when I was like 2 years old and I was first time in the theater seeing Grease. And my mom told, and I actually remember this. I remember a lot of my childhood when I was super young, like months old, like things that happened. My mom would be like, how the fuck do you remember that? I said, well, obviously I was just in tune and I was already living in the moment to be able to remember it. She's all, wow, what a concept. And I was like, well, I was born on Christmas Eve. There's a lot of weird shit about me that would make sense why why I do what I do and how I move and how I try to maneuver through certain situations, especially difficult ones where like people would be like, you should be very pissed off right now, but you're very calm. And I'm like, because I don't let that shit control who I am anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to be reactionary to it.
No.
Because when you're reactionary, then you lose all the power.
Exactly. I gave my power up.
Then-
I just said, here,
then
take
the-
my power, do what you want with it. I'll be your puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Once I figured out how
Yeah.
to maneuver through it, then I was able to just be like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah, I've been learning more of that stuff, and I'm kind of going, well, fuck. Took me 50 some odd years to figure out, a higher mindset. I figure if I can do it, anybody can. And why should you? Well, because, as George Orwell said in 1984, it's a fucking a boot on a human face. That's the future. So, you free yourself with your mind.
True that.
I know everything and I know nothing.
No shit, right?
That's the beauty of it. But, I know that. Always willing to learn, It's fun learning. It's fun taking on challenges.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Oh, well, the thing I really love about being a musician is playing live and just being thrown into circumstances where it's like, oh, well, shit, that happened. Okay, well, how do we deal with it, Like,
Yeah, I love those moments, too. So great.
And like Kim, your improv is, that's what he does the best,
Sure.
is improv. So that's pretty exciting, huh? Just being, you get it all the time, getting thrown into
all the
different,
time. It's crazy, but that's how I've always
bands and
been,
music and things like that.
That's how I've always been, because that, for me, that's part of being in the moment. It's like, okay, well, we don't have anything prepared, but what do you feel? Play it. Play your feelings. Everything is muscle memory, right? So you can transfer your feelings into your muscles. And that's what I do when I play drums. And if somebody, like, has a groove, like, I enjoy being in a band and being able to, like, hold that space for the guitarist to shine and for the bass player to shine. I'm one of those people that likes to do that rather than showboat. But at the same time, that's when the zombie drummer is created, because I'm still there entertaining, but at the same time, everybody's shining at that point. It's like being able to balance that pendulum and what feels you're gonna play and how you're gonna do that. And once you learn, like, I pick up on people's way of playing really easy, so do you. I've watched you do it many a times, and I'm able to respond to what they want to hear right off the bat. Like, there's no discussion, there's just that one note. We're just like one note away of figuring out how we match up and what you're about and how I can enhance what you do.
Yeah, oh yeah, he picks up on it really well. Every time him and I have had some jams, it's like, he either lays something down, I go with it, or I throw something down, and we just adapt to each other. And
most definitely, back and
sounds
forth.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like when I got to play with Big Car and they didn't have a drummer, and I was on a high dose of mushrooms at the time, but what I saw between the band members was, like, because people kept looking back at me, and like, because they're like, well, we didn't expect somebody to come up and play drums for us, but you're welcome to. I felt the energy bounce forward. I think a lot of the crowd did too, because Brett looked back at me at one point, and there was just this exchange. And right off the bat, I said, now that's energy work right there. And I told the whole crowd, this is how energy works right here. And we're all sharing the same fucking vibe right now,
Yep.
How to be able to create that when there's not a lot of people around, like, mimic that. That's what the moments are for. You go back to your stockpile of memories and kind of, that's what I like to do when I feel stressed and like I'll go to a recent memory of something that just made me feel at peace, and I can take myself back there for a moment and be like, okay, release, we're good. But it takes a lot of, I have to make sure that I'm not putting too much emphasis on the music to get overwhelmed with that, to make it become like something that causes anxiety rather than relief. Because the way I am, I'm OCD as fuck and ADHD, so that's why I'm the perfect drummer in some aspects, because like, yeah, give me more tools to work with, I'll throw them in somehow. You know, that's the ADHD in me, so it makes it perfect to play drums. But I really have to have boundaries with myself. Boundaries have been like the godsend. Like I didn't think I'd make it to be this age. I didn't think I would be in the music scene. I didn't think I'd be creating anything at all past, you know, I didn't think I'd live to be past 40 in a lot of moments of my life. So
I thought that once too.
Yeah, it's just like,
thank God I got rid of that, thinking shit.
You ever said no? Nope. You haven't learned your lesson yet. Here we go.
No, started putting more energy into just I don't know, just learn about spirituality, and you know, I think we're all here at this particular time for a reason. I know it's very easy to say, you know, I mean, it's a, you know, a lot of religions say that shit too, but it's what we have to go through. I feel like there's gonna be an enlightening age, and I think it's gonna be probably around 2032. That's what I think. And why do I think that? Well, have you ever heard of Agenda? Had to do that for you. Had to do that for YouTube reasons.
Good call. Good
call. That's a plan I believe they're trying to execute right now, really, right, with the things they want to do. You'll own nothing, you'll be happy, everything you want will be rented, tokenizing the blockchain, just so many stupid things they want to do. So I think it all has to come down first. I think it all has to be destroyed, but I think, I think there's a chance for a great enlightenment beyond that.
Oh yeah.
But we're going through some shit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it's hard to know what and where and why. It just comes out of nowhere anymore, you know. So hard to predict all how it's going to go down, but it's it was another saying for it is a crack up boom. I mean, shit just comes apart, you know. Financial markets go to shit, you know. We already have it with inflation, you know, stuff like that. So, without getting too deep into it, you know, I go far down the rabbit hole on that stuff, and people go, well, it's politics. And to me, it's not politics, it's survival. It's being able to discern, you know, what the truth might be, you know, make my own version of it, because I've worked hard. I'm still working on undoing my programming of things that I've believed, and found out somebody wasn't true. I mean, you know, somebody says, well, it's politics. Well, no. In my 55 years, I've been cast aside by both of them.
Right.
In what, 2008, whatever, Obama comes around, I bought that Hope and Chains. I thought that was great. I thought, oh, okay, black president, you know. There's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, I thought, okay, great. Turns out he was he was terrible. And the person after him was terrible. And then, you know, now we got the Don. And, you know, I thought for a minute, okay, he's an outsider. So I've been tricked both sides of it. This ain't politics to me. I'm trying to discern the truth.
Exactly.
You know, I want to know what I believe, not what I got from CNN or what came across the headline or got into somebody's feed. You know, that's why I like to investigate. And I don't know, I guess I always liked geography, just in school and stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah.
Just, if somebody, if there's a country, I know where it is on the map. I can find it on the globe. I probably know what the capital is. You know what I mean? I just kind of I've always been into history and stuff like that.
Right.
And now, the really good thing about the internet, is stories are being told now that were never able to be told because, there's more people to tell them. If you think a few generations past, well, they had total control over what the narrative was going to be, and that's just what it was. There wasn't a wide swath of information and things
Right.
that you could, in people's accounts of history, that you could go look at and go,
Couldn't investigate like you can now.
maybe that was just a bunch of bullshit,
Right.
maybe they really do these kinds of operations and stuff. Then the more you find out, it's just like, damn, everything's a lie. I don't know, I'm kind of getting on a rant here.
Everything's a lie, but yet everything's right in front of your face.
Oh, yeah, even more now.
Yeah.
Totally in your face.
It's totally obvious, but if you're caught up in your pre-programmed distractions and you don't really see the bigger picture, you're just kind of like, you're like in that robotic mode of, okay, this is, and then you can get caught up in the arguments and the, oh boy.
Yeah, why would anyone want to be a sycophant? Why would you just, you have to agree with every stupid things? I mean, now that's how wars get started. People's
Definitely.
consent for war. I think most people in this nation really don't want a fuck another war, do we? I mean, all this stupid shit that they keep trying to...
But that's the problem with
I don't know.
the consequences of our actions. There has to be a breakdown in order to rebuild, because you can't have a base that's fucked up and try to rebuild off of it, because it's just not gonna, and that's been for years and years and years. That's how it's had to be in order to like understand or get to a point where, okay, so now we have no choice but to evolve instead of just sitting here playing the fucking game over and over and over. And one thing I know for sure is that great music will be made because of these situations. And if music is what keeps the world turning, which I totally do believe, if it wasn't for music, this world would not turn, things would not function like they do. And
it would be a very bleak place, wouldn't it?
I think our life exists. Our lifespan would go, because we're like around 75 is our lifespan in this area of the region, and I think it would just go down to probably 30. I'd be bored. I'd be so bored by the age of 30. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Let's there ain't nothing to do here. So
beam me up, Scotty.
yeah, this planet sucks.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. If I see the spaceship land, I'm not going to be running away from it. I'm going to run towards it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go right now. Fun, good times, good times. Well, you got anything to add, or do you want to wrap up this interview?
I think it's been pretty good. Thanks for
No
coming
problem,
to hang out
man.
with me today.
Anytime.
Engaging me in
You're the only one
and stuff.
that's ever hit me up on my channel. Like I try to be active, but I don't think I'm in the algorithm because my channel talks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been, whatever that terminology on YouTube is, I'm pretty sure I've been shadow banned because of some of the things I do talk about. But I always have the understanding that those people that need to hear what I've put out, or need to just have some kind of an exchange through hearing the right things being said, they'll reach those people eventually. Just putting it out there and having it out there for when the time is right. It seemed really like consequential to making things happen and having your intention be built upon, and leaving behind a mark, because that's kind of what I want to do when I move on to the next veil. I kind of want to be known for that person that was able to like show up no matter what, like he was the guy, but that's duly based upon taking care of myself in order to be there. Because if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not gonna be caring about other people. I'm gonna be in my trenches, and I've learned to pull out of that. Even in the hardest moments, I've learned to pull out of that and just go, what's next? You know, you have to bounce back. And it's very funny because the owner of my company where I work for now, he come to me the other day because I've had a lot of challenges thrown at me at that job, and a lot of moments where I thought I was going to kill somebody, and moments where I thought I was just going to quit. And I still stuck around, and I got acknowledged for that the other week, and it kind of shocked me because I do not like my boss. He's an ego, money-driven person, and I mean, I know he means well, but he's programmed too. You know, he's an ex-coach from Weber State, and he used to play for Weber State, and he's a part of the community, a big part. And a couple times I had to draw some boundaries with him and let him know that's not okay. You talk to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and kind of stand up to him. And
oh well, sounds like he respects you for that.
Yeah, he does. And not only that, you know, even if because he knows my ordeal. He knows I've been sleeping out in his parking lot for over a year. He's never offered me a spare truck to sleep in. I've never asked because I'm like, you know, these are my choices. I don't think anybody has to pay for my choices or give me a handout for my choices. I just need to be the most, you know, have the most integrity and do what I say I'm going to do. And I've gone above and beyond. And he told me, he goes, you know, you took some hits this last year. I watched you go through the processes of your POs and having to go to jail and having to pay all these fines, and you still show up to work on time, and you don't bitch about your job. You never come to me crying about anything. Even when shit's going down and I know like you're in a spot where you're about to lose your shit, you still pull through it. And that's amazing. Not a lot of people do that.
That's an art, man. It is.
It is.
It's an art because, you know, people can really fucking piss you off some days, and
But I've learned how to detach from emotion because I know
that it's important. It's important.
That and it's about equality. I know if I can take a moment, maybe put myself in your shoes, in which I've been able to maneuver that aspect as well with like dealing with these old drivers. We've got these old drivers that, you know, they're decrepit. They really shouldn't be out driving, but as long as they pass the physical, they'll allow them to drive. And some of them don't really have lives. It's very sad. It's like there's no, like, once you're done, you're done. And you don't have a backup plan. You don't have any hobbies. You don't have anything to motivate you. There's a couple of them, and it saddens me, dude.
Another reason why everybody I meet, I try and get them to play an instrument or sing or something. It's like, fuck, you know, because I know what it does for me, and you know. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good. We have a couple truckers. We got this one guy. He'll bring in a portable amp, and he plays guitar, and he'll have a mic and all this shit. And
Does it work?
Yeah, sometimes in the summertime he'd set up outside and play and record himself on his YouTube channel. So we do got a couple of drivers that like they're very aware that their choice of profession really doesn't do much for them but make a paycheck. So they still need that outlet, and they learn to deal with it. When I drove for 3 years, I had this little kid drum pad that I could actually hook to my stereo in my truck. And they had foot pedals for the hi-hat and the bass, and you know, it was something so I could still play. And then I started the band in Washington, so I would play every week. When I go to Ellensburg, I'd make a stop in that town and we'd jam for a couple hours, and then I'd head on to Seattle that same night and do my work, and then I would make it back by Utah on a Friday and jam with Unexplained Rhythms, which I created about 6 years ago, and we jammed for about 4 years. It was one of those projects where we had guest people come in and play, and I had all kinds of, I had a pan flute player come in. We did some cool shit. It was really fun. It's funny, I got like 650 video posts in the last decade of my music, the different projects I'm in, but I can never find them because they only come up 5 years ago. you know, on Facebook, how they go on memory that you posted 5 years ago. I've been looking for that video, but the only way I can see is when it comes up on its anniversary on Facebook. It's so weird. I lost all the videos to Facebook. But at least they're in the cloud somewhere. People will be like, hey, that's a cool jam. Who's that motherfucker? Oh yeah, that was Zombie Drummer 15 years ago. Check him out. You know, I got a whole video portfolio of myself on Facebook. It's crazy. It's crazy to see how many people that have affected their lives, and they've affected mine in a more positive fashion through the music scene, to even art in itself. There's that connection with music and art. I think my stepdaughter, when I played in God, what were we called at the time? We were Stoners with Boners for a small stint, and then we had to change our name. Oh, it was Jazz and Punk. It was Spunk. Jazz and Punk. Yeah, it was called even better, right? We were called Spunk.
Stoners and Boners
and Spunk. Imagine that. Imagine that. So my daughter would come in and paint while we played. Like, I'd have her in a little paint biz with lights, and we'd do our live show, and she would make more money than the band. She would sell her art right off the setting. So, like, I witnessed that, and I was like, oh my God, you can include art into music and make it so much more profound of a show, to where people are like, they remember who the fuck you are. And I think that's where the Zombie Drummer came in too. It was like, we can really spice this up and make it a theatrical show as much as we want to, in order to have that visual, because I've seen bands that are really freaking good, but they're boring to watch.
Oh, yeah.
They just kind of stand there, and you know, that's cool and all, but I mean, it's a live show. You want to be about the show, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite the process. But I love coming and meeting up with you every so often, because I always get something from hanging out with you. I learn something every time. You're one of those people you're like one of those people that are kind of like in the background, but you exude a lot of energy, but you're like very kept. You're, I don't know, you're a trippy type of dude. But the first time I got to jam with you, I was like, oh no, this dude's a man right here. You know, that fucking bass. I was just like, what the fuck? Okay, I like this dude. And then when I learned that you were into, you know, focusing, I mean, I know you follow certain things I don't follow in this life, which is cool because it kind of helps. And I follow some shit that maybe you don't follow all the time, so we kind of balance each other out. You give me a better understanding of what's going on up there, because I try not to pay too much attention, because like I said, I got disorders in my head. If I have too many distractions, I totally fuck myself up. So having that awareness about how my brain works has been really helpful to keeping me on task about what I'm really here to do, and not be so distracted and be more on point, because I know I probably got like 20 years left, and I want to make the most of those years and try to be like the most profound person I can be for myself.
Yeah. That's why I was bitching about being 55, because I was like, well, 65 sounds like a magic number. You know, they talk about, you know, dreams of retiring and all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not me. You know, I mean, it was more of an epiphany. It's like, okay, yeah, you better start like getting your shit together here, and, you know, doing, you know, living the best life possible. So that's what I try every day, and God, I mean, it just seems amazing. You know, playing music's amazing, and you know.
I know no matter how bad the work week can be, I know when the weekend comes, like, I know I have more choices on what I want to do, things I could do throughout the weekend to help me balance, to be more in tune with myself. And the opportunities are always like put in front of me, it seems like recently, because I'm just more open to them. I'm more open to having different experiences. And, you know, sometimes there'll be a point I'll have a day. It's weird, like Saturday is pretty busy. I had to do a bunch of shit. I got food poisoning the night before Friday. I woke up Saturday morning just chucking out the back of my car, like really sick. But I had a bunch of shit to do, so I was like, okay, you need to get yourself right. And I did a few rituals that helped that, and drove from Ogden, then drove to Mill Creek, then drove out to Draper, and then drove back into downtown Salt Lake for the night to go bar crawl, and I got a lot of shit. I felt very accomplished this whole weekend. I had a lot of fun. I did some partying, but the main focus of the weekend was to let's build this community. Let's suit up, show up at the events, and I think that's one of the biggest parts about being a part of the community. Is if it's cool to be in a band and do shows, but if you're not showing up to other people's events, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're not doing a service to the community, but it just helps. It makes it feel more like a community when faces are seen and people are having experiences. Like last night, I hate karaoke. Okay, karaoke is by far not on my top 5 list of things to go and do, but because my friends want to go out and do it, I'm down to have an experience. And this is the last bar of the night after going to 4 bars, and we walk in there and some people, and it's 9 o'clock, it's still early, it's 9 o'clock, we're at the 4th bar, and these people are trying to blow up Led Zeppelin, 3 drunk as shit people, and they are just murdering the song. My friend shows up, Brandon from Wicked Temple, he shows up and he's like, wow, I don't know if I should regret this now or later. But by the end of the night, there were so many performances that happened. The whole bar, I've never seen this before. The whole bar, I felt like I was in a movie. The whole bar was just singing. Like just, I don't know if it's because I don't go around karaoke bars, if that happens everywhere, but the energy was intense, the vibe was good. And there was 3 fights. One of my buddies actually got in a fight, so be it. But at the end of the night, everything was just like, that was an experience I wouldn't want to miss, even though I hate karaoke. So if you could put that in perspective, how open-minded I try to be in order to like just support what people are doing.
Yeah.
Like for instance, all my new band members for this cover band were there. So of course I'm gonna show up. We're gonna have an experience. And with that being said, we decided to put Ariel's System of the Down on our playlist to start working on right away, because our singer and guitarist covered that on karaoke, tore the roof off the fucking place. I said, put that on our next fucking...
Okay, cool. It's a great song.
It is a great song, and I was like, sometimes in order to create, you got to show up to different events to get that inspiration to be able to go, oh, I like that idea they did. I got this other idea. So in order to be inspired, I have to be around those people, because I can't do this alone. This is all a group effort here. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely get out. You get out.
I have to.
Probably more than anybody I know.
I know I have to promote my brand. When I do certain little pop-up things for whomever, it's about promoting them and me. It's a back and forth thing, and I think that's a good thing. That's another thing I like to focus on when I got Wicked Temple sing a shout out to Zombie Drummer. That's helping my brand, and therefore I'm always, so it's a back and forth thing. And I think that's why it's really important to get out and be a part of the community and be a little more active.
I want to get out there more. I mean, the bands I've been in, we've only kind of played the same venues for, the last couple of years. It's kind of just been the same ones, and I don't know, guess I just don't have enough connections to, I guess, something I need to work on too, because I'd like to get Theramadus out there more, and LOE if they're willing, and
I would suggest you check out Cruiser Saloon.
Really? Okay.
I think you would dig that place. It's super chill. The owners are really cool. They have a nice little outside smoke area. They got an inside heated room smoke area. The stage the sound is great. They're like, it's a very small bar, but it's just like, it's almost like perfect for like the bands you play in. To have good shows, definitely.
They like some hard rock, groove, heavy metal kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's
Be
what we
perfect.
do.
Be perfect for cruisers. They're about that. So.
Huh. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more adventures here in 2026 and beyond for sure. So, yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep it rolling. We're gonna wrap up. Thanks for being here. You know, no matter what you might have doubt about in your life, know that you can always push forward through it. Connect with that inner self. If you don't know how to do that, figure it out. Step up for yourself. Be yourself. Represent yourself, and everything will fall into place. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. Peace. What?